Hey guys, Steve Guttenberg here. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show, and today's episode took place at In Living Stereo, a local dealer here in New York City. And I had a nice chat with the owner, Steve Mishoe, and let's get to it. This is, I call it the epicenter of hip New York City audio stores. How does that feel? That makes you feel good, right? Because it's true. I'm not just saying it to say it. I mean it.
There's definitely a younger vibe here than some of the stereo stores that I've been in over the years. There's no wall-to-wall carpet here. there's I try to make it look like a younger person would enjoy coming into a shop like this, not feel like they're being transported back to 1980.
Yeah, I don't think you've hit that.
Well, I mean, I've looked into stores before, and in the last couple of years, I was curious walking down the street, and I would go, "Oh, a stereo store is right there. Let me go see." I'm gonna go in and look and poke my head in. It's not open right now, but I can look in, and I see this it looks like red carpet from like the Ziegfeld from like 1960, and I look in and I'm like, wow, who shops here? And I go, oh yeah,
old people
come in here just like my store. And so I look in and I go, but they're still around, some of these old places.
Yeah, a lot of old people
but it's weird because I grew up in Syracuse, so in Syracuse, there were 4 big audio shops.
Wow.
In a regional city like that. Wow. And there was like 4 or 5 in every city. Albany, Rochester, Buffalo, Duluth, wherever you are.
Not cities, like I grew up in Far Rockaway.
Yeah, there was probably a shop there.
Well, actually in Cedarhurst there was, but it's close enough. And they sold, Macintosh and Bozak and, cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, that was then, and this is now.
Now.
But wait, you started this shop in 2001?
2001.
Just
Great
before
year.
9/11?
Just before 9/11.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I remember being in I had a dog back then, and I would be walking the dog in Prospect Park, and there was this girl that had another dog, and she knew me, and she came up to me, and I was like, my head was down. I was like, right after 9/11, and I just remember her going, "So, how's everything going?" And I just remember going, "Well, I think it's over before it even started." But somehow it worked out. Somehow we got through it. Somehow, we offered something and some different products and different attitudes towards it.
But see, that's an interesting question. There's a thing to talk about is, everybody who owns a store has to pick among all the things that are out there what they're going to carry. And you're not in the mainstream of what people carry, other than Sonos. But you carry stuff that pretty much everything here is proprietary, exclusive to you. Yeah. Not everything, but a lot of it is.
A lot of it is, yeah.
Right. So you picked it because you like
it, and some of it was the first to be brought into the United States. We just were the first ones because we liked some equipment that blew us away. We're like
Shindo?
Whoa!
Shindo,
Mactone, Lieben. We were the first Lieben dealers.
DeVore.
First DeVore. We were first DeVore.
No, you weren't.
No, we were the first.
You were? Okay, we were the first.
Yeah, we were the first.
But what's that Danish company?
Devone?
Devone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I was the first of that, but I was, they came to me because they felt like this was the kind of vibe that they were looking for that, would work in, because there is a lot of mid-century stuff going on here, and it is designed in here to a certain extent.
Yeah, you have a great sense of design.
I like designing stuff, like building stuff. So it was an opportunity for me to kind of make this place into a place I like in terms of aesthetically, and
So when I visit a lot of the stores in New York City, and I notice your customers definitely skew younger. more under 50, which is young for the audiophile crowd.
Because, well, part of the reason we offer more turntables probably than anybody else, and we always have. And turntables are a big, sector these days, I guess. But it's also something that people are longing for. They're longing for, like, something that's kind of handmade, and I think a turntable represents that. And how mechanical and aesthetic it is, and how divorced it is from being just another commodity, another something that's like an iPod, which offers endless convenience and no soul whatsoever. And I think a turntable offers that, and we got more than anybody. We're in a place where there are young people, and a place where young people want to be. I'm not saying the Upper East Side is a place where they don't want to be, but I think they're a little more hip to come downtown New York than they are
to go uptown.
NYU
is nearby.
Yeah, NYU.
Do you have any NYU students, customers?
Yeah, we get a lot of NYU students getting turntables, a lot of getting headphones because they can't, make too much noise in their apartment or dorm or whatever it is. But yeah, we get a lot of that. We get a lot of teachers in here. We get a lot of interesting people. Even artists come in, and whether they're like painters or actual like recording artists, we get a lot of them in here. I think they enjoy the vibe of the store, which feels open, and there's a lot of light in here.
So this speaker right behind you, that's Trenner and...
That's Trenner and Friedel. That's from Austria.
Because they're, again, there's not another like that. Because that's a coaxial driver.
Coaxial with a compression driver in the center, which that's kind of got me going. When I saw and was reading about stuff, and I saw it, and I was like, that looks like a cool speaker.
and
it is. And, it also looks minimal in a really kind of pretty kind of way. And, that's the other thing. People are aesthetic, and they want something that, speaks to them visually. And a lot of times, that's where it starts. They start there, and they're like, man, that is an interesting object, and then I talk, I'll talk to them about it, and I'll set it up for them, and if, it also sounds good. So they get two things going on, two kind of artistic things going on, an interesting object and something that plays other art,
You also sell a lot of tube gear.
We sell a lot of tube gear, and people really appreciate that. A lot of people are like, they still make these things,
Yeah,
but
that's the first line.
Yeah, it's always the first line. With tubes is, tubes are generally a little more of a, there's a story behind it, there's history behind it. You're actually looking into the beginnings of audio, because that's, you are seeing 1930s audio, basically.
The technology.
Yeah.
Right.
So with that in mind, people are instantly shot back. Which is a cool thing, because it kind of
goes with the whole turntable thing.
Yeah, that's the turntable thing. But also, I personally think they sound better if they're designed properly. But they also, it doesn't look like an appliance. It's no longer an appliance. It's a piece of artwork. A guy made this thing. You can tell somebody made this thing. There's no just big black box with some circuit boards in it.
Right.
These things are all handmade, hand soldered. And people appreciate that,
Right. And the designers of them
and
are passionate people.
Yeah, they're artists, and as much of an artist as a painter is, really, a lot of them. So not all of them, but a lot of them. Some of them are just making a product to fit the market, and others are just making a statement about themselves. And I think they do that with tube equipment. And I think, again, that connects up with the turntable thing. People, I believe, are dying for something that's authentic,
Definitely.
and real, and more than just a sound bite. They want a real conversation, just like on YouTube. They want to go to a website or a podcast where somebody is like Joe Rogan and is doing an interview, and it's a 3-hour interview. So it's a conversation. It isn't a sound bite. It isn't like 4 words and I'm supposed to figure this out. That's kind of what like getting a turntable is.
Yeah.
It's delving into the album, listening to both sides. It's harder to just skip through things on a turntable than it is, when you're streaming or you got a CD player or whatnot, or an iPhone or iPod or whatever it is. So
yeah, I interviewed a 14-year-old once, and he was telling me that he noticed that when he plays records, he listens to the entire record.
Yeah.
So it's not just, it's true. You're more engaged when you play a record. You got to go out, you got to get it, take it out of the jacket, put it on the platter, put the stylus in the groove. You're already automatically more there. And
it also allows for the idea of the concept of the record to come through, like the order in which being played in the order in which the artist wanted them to be played in.
Right.
Not now they're just coming out with 3 songs because those are the ones that could be hits, and people will only play those, and that's all they're looking for to sell stuff. So I think that's, again, the turntable offers a little more intellectual
honesty.
Well, honesty and expanse. I mean, there's an expanse of experience that you get with a turntable that you don't get with a CD or a digital device.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's the same for me. I mean, that's what I'm looking for when I'm listening to music now. Is I don't want to necessarily feel like I have to like jump from one thing to the next. I want to relax. I want my apartment to feel, like it's moving along, and and I'm moving along. And
so at that point, some customers came into the store, and the interview was interrupted. But I had a great time at In Living Stereo. If you're in the metropolitan area, you're into audio. Hey, if you like what I do, you can follow me on Twitter at AudiophiliacMan, on Instagram at Steve.Guttenberg. And while you're here, hey, check out the playlist for speaker reviews and amplifier reviews and music reviews, all kinds of cool stuff. But the main point is have a good time. And I hope, I really do, to see you back here again very, very soon. And as always, thank you for watching.